Hi everyone! Today is our second video of the free course Video Creatives in Mobile Gaming together with Apptica. In this video we are going to dive deep into mechanics. We are going to talk about meta and core, and we will see what competitors should you pay attention to grab ideas for your videos. So let's go! Okay, before we start with the very intriguing topic, mechanics, we should talk a bit about core and meta. One of the purposes of this video is to train your video creative mindset. So just keep in mind that there is a core and meta in the game, and now we're going to deconstruct these two terms. First one is core. Core gaming is the one that created and one that existed in real life. So when we talk about your game, that's like your app, your characters, your match 3 field, like rules, timings, like shop, like resources in the game, and many more. So that's the borders that you established for gamers when they play your game. When we talk about meta, that's something different. Meta is the game that happened in your gamer's head. So when we talk about your user's behavior, so we know that some users may grab 300 levels in one day. Some may stuck on one level for weeks and months. Some of them may play 1, 2, 3 level and then quit. So some may abuse some mechanics. Some may pay a lot of money to improve his progress. Some may pay no money at all. So that's all meta. That's how they operate in your game, that's how they act, that what strategy and what tactic they use. And the great examples of core and meta mechanics are the following videos. For the core video, I'm gonna tell you Farmville 3 video. There is no logic of action of gamer in this game. So only characters, animals are represented in this creative. And the second one about meta creative. So let's talk mostly about Raid Shadow Legends. So Raid Shadow Legends creative is really high customized creative. So you should choose a character for your game, and then you will see in this creative that the gamer that impersonated in this video, he stops, he pauses this video to grab coffee or something. Well, now let's talk about mechanics. Well, first mechanic is a simple and really common mechanic called match. When we talk about match, it's about to combine some elements and then they disappear. So that's really simple and really playful mechanic that is apparent for a whole genre of match 3 games. It's one of the most competitive genre in the whole both App Store and Android app market. Second one is merge. Merge is really great mechanic that is really tactile. It's really similar to match, but when you combine elements, they turn into something new. The great example of this is Merge Dragons by Zynga. Third mechanic is drawing. Drawing came to life from Save the Doge hypercasual game. This game was a game changer in the whole industry. A lot of players in different niches they took this mechanic and implemented in their video creative. So this mechanic gives a user a lot of freedom. So user can draw any figure, any shape, any curve. So it's really enjoyable and fun mechanic. And one of the examples of implementation from Save the Doge is Lord's mobile video. The next one is Labyrinth. Labyrinth is a great mechanic when your character, he interacts with other object, or also with some other number, higher or less than itself. So in this mechanic, what's great, that's really obvious and it's logical, understandable. So you may look even this mechanic even muted, and you will understand the whole plot. So the great example of this mechanic is Angry Birds Dream Blast video. The next one is pins. Pins came from Pull the Pin game, and it brings a great mechanic, really enjoyable, really obvious, and really simple to a gaming world. So I guess there's no need to tell a lot about this mechanic. So let's just look at Pull the Pin Creative. The next one is stacking. Stacking is a great mechanic that was popularized by Bridge Race, by Supersonic Studios, and this mechanic is as simple as it is. So the main message of this mechanic is that you have a lot of resources that you grab and store behind your back. One of the great examples of adaptation of this mechanic is Township by Playrix. Next one is resource management. Resource management is a quite more complex mechanic than previous ones. But this mechanic, it represents the whole complexity of the world economy in a simple rule. So you invest some resource and you get money or another resource, and then you can invest it again, and then cycle goes over and over and over. So great example of this mechanic is Ant's Underground Kingdom game. The next mechanic is freezing. Freezing is a great mechanic, but it goes separately comparing to another ones. So this mechanic, this doesn't go alone. It always goes together with another one. So you can see a lot of examples of how this mechanic is combined with renovation, with match tree, with makeover, etc. So this mechanic is a great example of how you can put emotional beginning or emotional flow into your creative. The great example is Creative by Royal Match by Dream Games. And the last mechanic I'm going to highlight in this part is mixed mechanics. Mixed mechanics. So most of the mechanics we are talking about, they are not used separately. So as progress in mobile gaming coming, as experience level growing, so a lot of creative producers, they combine different mechanics, try to create new message to a user. So one of the best examples, one of the most unexpected combines is this creatives by Empires and Puzzle by Zynga. And the very last one is the part where I recommend you to learn some mechanics independently. So I'd like to highlight tower defense, puzzle. I'd like to highlight also renovation, makeover, and towers. So there's much more mechanics, but these ones are more basics and fundamentals that used really across a lot of games. Now let's dive deep in where to find ideas for your creative. I recommend you to always have in your SEC 3 groups of games where you can find. First one is steady growing competitors. Well, if the whole industry goes down, so pay attention to competitors that gone down in a less degree. The second one is steady growing top games. So top games, they represent a huge layer of players, so they are massive. They are created for masses, so they can represent a simple average user. So you can try to see what mechanics they use and implement it in your creative strategy. And the third one is top hyper-casual games. I'm gonna focus on this point separately because it's really game changer. First one is a whole.io game. It's a great game by Voodoo, and a lot of games they implemented, they stole this mechanic to this creative strategy. So one of the great examples of adaptation of whole.io is Lord's Mobile Creative. Second one is a Sandballs by Say Games. Sandballs inspired a lot of players, of publishers, a lot of gamers all over the globe, and one of the examples is Angry Birds Dream Blast Creative. So this creative is a huge adaptation of Sandballs 1, but it's a parental creative, and they took a core mechanic from this and put into their creative strategy. Third one is Save the Dope. Save the Dope, it's a great example of how hyper-casual game gave a birth to a new mechanic. In this case, it's a drawing. Drawing is used in numerous amount of games and genres all over the mobile globe. And one of the games that implemented it in their creative strategy is Fishdom by Playrix. Look at how tasty they did this. And the last one I'm going to highlight in this part is Stacking. Stacking, it's a great mechanic that came from Bridge Race. A lot of games implemented it in their creative. So one of the games is Golden Goblins by Appquantum, and it's a great mechanic that in this video is combined with resource management. Well, great job! So now you know where to search for ideas for your video. But let me highlight you another 5 cool mobile developers that create great creative concepts, always test something new, and you can always to see what's new they bring. So the first one is a Top War. Top War is a great game, one of the greatest and one of the most experienced creative production team I've ever seen. They always try something new. They try to implement top mechanics from the market to their games, and it looks really like natural and tasty. Second one is Lord's Mobile. Lord's Mobile, we took paid a lot of attention to this game in previous parts, but that's all about the greatness of this game and the team that creates marketing creative for this game. The third one is Ants, Underground Kingdom. It's really underestimated game, It's really I never met this game in some lists of the best mobile developers, the best creative designers, etc. But you really should pay attention to this. Fourth one is a Klondike by Visor Games. Klondike by Visor Games is a great example of adaptation, constant testing, and improving of creatives. They are really good at iteration creative, so I think you really should focus on this publisher. And the last one is a tower defense game called Kingdom Guard by Tap for Fun. Tap for Fun is a great example of a simple strategy game that implements a lot of mechanics, that creates tasty videos, and always try to bring new experience to the viewers to make them players. That's it for today. Hope it was really valuable for you. Bye!